Hello and welcome to the Wales Big Weekend of Wrestling special preview as we look ahead to WWE's Clash at the Castle, ICW's What's Occurring, Progress's Wrestling Gulf Madrid in that order, and TNT Extreme's Reign of Fire, all happening next weekend over the 3rd and 4th of September. It's going to be a huge weekend. We are, of course, the Untitled, the Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling, as featured on bodyslam.net, brought to you by John's Podcasting Network. I am the Great British Attacker, Mr. Andrew Moandi to most. He is Big Daddy Dan, Mr. Daniel Allen, just Dan for short. How are we doing, Dan?
We are very good and very excited about this wonderful week of Welsh wrestling. It's going to be phenomenal, and I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to give it a go. Croeso to all of our Welsh lands.
Indeed. As you say, it's going to be huge. It's a massive event for Wales, for Cardiff. I'm sure it's going to bring lots of tourism and money to Wales right now, which I'm sure they're all too happy to receive. And we've had a lot of opportunities very recently to talk to a lot of Welsh wrestlers, and obviously, and they've been able to sort of give us their thoughts on it, including, of course, our most recent interview with Nico Angelo, who is going to be part of the TNT Extreme Reign of Fire. So go check that out.
And, of course, our other interview, which we had with the wonderful Brendan White, who is going to be a part of the ICW show and a part of the Progress show.
Indeed, and he's actually going to be at Clash at the Castle to watch all the action live. So good luck. He's going to have a very busy weekend. Yeah, as you say, it's a fantastic event. And of course, he talks to us about New Wave Wrestling, his new wrestling academy, and of course, their first show, which is happening in just 2 weeks later, in September the 11th.
Indeed.
Anyway, let's talk WWE Clash at the Castle. That's where it all began.
God, it feels a bit weird us talking WWE.
It does. I mean, well, proper WWE anyway. I mean, because we usually talk about NXT UK, but we're actually going to be talking about the main WWE brand, the SmackDown, Raw, whatever else is going on over there at the moment.
This is where people are going to realise that we don't actually watch the main brand WWE, isn't it?
Yeah, because we can't give you any of the details as to what's happening and why these matches are happening.
But we know they're happening.
We know they're happening. We're excited they're happening. They do look like some really exciting matchups. But yeah, as you say, we don't really watch SmackDown and Raw all that often. But we will. Well, I'll be watching Clash of the Castle. I believe you're busy.
I am indeed, but I will do my best to catch up with it.
Indeed. And I will be part of the bodyslam.net post-show coverage, which will be going out live following the event itself. So keep an eye out for that. Anyway, let's go up. Main event, Clash of the Castle, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. I mean, we always said Drew would main event when this Clash of the Castle was first announced.
Yeah. It had to be. It had to be. Is this the right time to take the belt off Roman? Does he have some more Hollywood projects coming up? We just don't know. There is also the floating spectre in the background of Killer Cross, Karrion Kross, who has been attacking Drew repeatedly.
I will take your word for that. I probably should have actually watched some of the news videos, but anyway.
Well, Drew had a massive beatdown this week. He was beaten down by Sami Zayn, the Usos, and Roman. If you look at his Twitter and see the state of his back afterwards, it was a major beatdown. And normally you don't have a major beatdown like that in old WWE law unless you're going to win in the coming match.
I mean, I believe Sammy's been welcomed into the Bloodline, so maybe he screws them.
That's a possibility.
I mean, you'd think they would want to have Drew McIntyre go over, but typically with WWE, whoever's the hometown people rarely ever actually go over, do they?
That is a very rare thing, but I think they could do it with McIntyre. But you just never know.
He's ready for a second run. That's a definite. I mean, his first run, of course, was hampered by the pandemic era, the no fan era. I think it'd be a great chance to now unleash with Drew Mania. Let Drew Mania run wild. I think he's a fantastic. He's a great servant to the WWE over these years. I think he deserves a second chance. I think it's time to put the belt back on him.
Yeah,
I'm picking Drew McIntyre to go over.
I am, but I'm thinking with my heart as opposed to my head, so I'm going to go with Drew as well.
There we go. Of course, we will be tallying all these up, and next week, well, not the next Boot Rest Roundup, but the following Boot Rest Roundup, we will go through the scores. Last time we did this, by the way, I absolutely slaughtered Big Daddy Dan, didn't I?
I got beaten like an Anthony Ogogo opponent.
You did. Anyway, up next, Sheamus versus Gunfa for the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, we did talk about it a little bit on the Boot Rest Roundup. It's awesome to see Gunfa as the champion. He already feels like he's brought much more prestige back to that belt.
No, he's getting it on TV. That's got to be a good thing.
And he has been having great match against Shinsuke. I know that. I have seen that come up on feeds that he's been having great matches with Shinsuke. It's another great matchup to have, and I think it could go either way. Sheamus, as I think you mentioned, is looking to retire soon.
Well, he's been complaining about stenosis, but the main thing is Sheamus has been very much pushing the fact that this would make him a Triple Crown champion. This is the last belt that he's got. He's held every other belt. So this is his last one.
But on the other hand, a long, substantial, dominant reign for Gunfa as Intercontinental Champion
builds him up to absolutely destroy whoever's the heavyweight champion in the end.
Yes. Of course, if they do a double change and Drew McIntyre takes the title and Sheamus wins his, that would free Gunfa up to move on to possibly facing Drew McIntyre.
I'm going to bet on Gunter to retain.
I'm also going to put my money on Gunfa to retain. I just don't think it's time to take the belt from him yet.
Next match, Shayna Basler versus Liv Morgan. I think Shayna Basler has been doing a lot of training with her best friend in the world, her BFF. I think Shayna Basler is going to be getting the championship here.
I think so too. Triple H absolutely loves Shayna. We saw that from the absolute dominant run she had over on NXT. I absolutely loved her run as the NXT Women's Championships, and she had some great matches as well.
Got that arm stamp on Dakota Kai.
Oh yes, the 3 sets of matches that she had against Kairi Sane were all phenomenal. It's hard because Liv Morgan, she's an underdog champion, which is always difficult to get over. It's hard to sometimes get face champions over.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been struggling, I think, with that. And sometimes it's better to have a face chasing a heel champion.
Yeah, I can see that. I really love Shayna's work. I think that she's brilliant. I want to see her win. I love Liv Morgan. I think she's great as well, but I want to see Shayna Basler with the belt. Yeah,
I can't see past Shayna Basler. I want Shayna Basler to have that run as well because she bloody well deserved it. She's been given crap her entire main roster run. She deserves to become dominant heel champion. Basler, we're not doing very well here. We're just picking the same people.
Well, we'll see how we go the next one. So I think we're probably going to pick the same people in the next one as well. Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss thrown together to take on Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai.
First of all, fantastic to see Dakota Kai back in the WWE. It was a shame they let her go in the first place. I think she always had a lot of talent. I think she really showed that when she went heel as well. You know, she was good as that underdog baby face, but when they turned her heel, it brought her to another level. And so yeah, great to see Dakota Kai back. Io Sky, you know, there were rumors apparently that she was 1 foot out the door, and then suddenly now she's on the main roster. Don't always believe what you read, ladies and gentlemen. But I like the stable. I really do. I haven't, I've seen little clips and I like them as a stable. They look good as a group. And
they're going to get the win.
Yeah, as a group, I don't think you can have them lose yet, can you?
No, you can't. They've got to.
It would just be too early to have them, since this very recent return and comeback. I think it's too early to do that. Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss, as you say, it's a thrown together team. So a good team, full of 3 phenomenal performers. I've always been a big fan of Alexa Bliss, so hope she gets another run soon at some time. But yeah, I'm gonna Bayley, Io, and Dakota.
So now one that we might disagree on: Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here.
No, neither have I. But
doesn't help.
I know that Matt Riddle hasn't had the singles run that he should have had yet on the main roster. Seth Rollins can have phenomenal matches with everyone and anyone. With the talent, with the quality of Riddle, I think this could be Riddle's standout match and really lift him up now. So I want Riddle to win, and I know bugger all about the storyline behind it.
I know bugger all about the storyline behind it. I know Seth Rollins. It does... even though I haven't been watching, it does feel like I've been hearing that there hasn't been a big win for Seth Rollins in a long time. I can't remember the last time he held a championship. But it doesn't matter if he loses because he's still
Seth freaking Rollins.
But just to be different and be so we finally get a little separation between us. I'm gonna call for Seth Rollins because I think it does for me in my head. I'm thinking back, I can't think the last time I heard about Seth Rollins having a big win, so I'm gonna go Rollins.
Excellent. I might win one.
Now, I don't think this match has been confirmed yet, but there has been a leak post or one of those promo card images for it, and that is Edge, Rey Mysterio, and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. So I'm assuming if they do it, they'll probably continue with the mixed tag rule, that if the woman gets tagged in, then how are you going to do a mixed tag with triple six man?
Yeah, they'll have to do it that way.
Yeah. I guess when the woman's in, she's got a choice of who she can tag in.
Yes, she'll be able to tag in anyone, but if she gets tagged in, then because that's how they had it back in the day with there used to be regular matches like that with Test, Albert, and Trish as TNA versus the Hardy Boys and Lita, and Right to Censor with Ivory, and there were a number of matches like that, as I remember.
There we go. So that's what it'll probably be. I I like this Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley combination. I think they're good talents.
Rhea's amazing.
I think Finn Balor somebody is again who doesn't seem to, in my mind, that I can think of have any big wins recently. It'd be good for him to get back onto the main event scene. He could do so with this group. So I'm going to go with the young guys.
I'm also going to go with the young guys, but with a different slant. I think this is going to be the match where finally Ray's son turns against him.
Could be. It'd be about time.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure they're not going to be the only matches. They're the only matches that have been announced so far. There will probably be matches announced today on WWE Raw and on Friday following SmackDown. Having said that, given your knowledge of the WWE roster to a degree, what matches would you like to see?
With my extensive WWE roster knowledge, I would say I would like to see. I haven't got a flipping clue, mate. I really do not have a Scooby-Doo. What I would like to see is Butch have a match.
Yeah.
Or maybe have a lovely ceremony.
I believe he's back to just being Pete Dunne, though, now.
I was about to say, or have a lovely ceremony where he gets his name given back. But yes, I would like to see Pete Dunne have a match. I would like to see Pete Dunne have a match with Shinsuke Nakamura because I think they would have an amazing match. I'm not booking it for any other reason. I can imagine that something might be put on with The Miz. I know that he's just been kidnapped by Dexter Lumis. So there might be something that happens there. But yes, I would like to see Butch versus Nakamura. That would be a match that I would like to see for no reason other than it's a match I want to see.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about on the Brit Wrestling Roundup. We've said that we would have loved to have seen Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate go at it one more time over the NXT UK Championships, considering we always suspected that Tyler Bate would go on to win the NXT UK Championship in the tournament. I know, obviously, it's the next day is the NXT show at Worlds Collide. So that probably rules out any chance of that actually happening. Although, you know, maybe a late night flight for Tyler Bate.
Hey, just Joe Lando pulled it off.
It happens. They do things like this. I just think it would be such a monumental win for Tyler Bate to get that win back. Obviously, he lost his NXT UK Championship to Pete Dunne, and then go on to face Braun Breaker and beat him and become the NXT champion. But as I say, it's probably unlikely. The New Day versus the Usos versus Pete Dunne and that, what's his name?
Ridge Holland.
That would be a match, maybe. Good one. Given the grizzled young vets from Liverpool, obviously there's typically quite connection between Liverpool, Wales. I know they're busy over on NXT. Again, it would be an excellent. You know what? My big hope, my big thing. This is what I'm going for. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky have won their match, and they're laying in the boots to Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. And then the music hits, and it's Nixon. Goddamn no! coming back. I've actually forgotten what she's called on WWE now, but Nixon will what was her name on WWE?
Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox, yes. Tegan Knox returns. Huge, biggest pop you'll ever hear from any crowd, because she is, you know, this amazing Welsh talent that came through, and to have her just come back out, explode, and make the save, that would be freaking awesome. Other than that, I'd say, oh, yeah, I couldn't. It's difficult because we're not watching the product enough. So I look forward to watching Clash. I look forward to seeing what happens, and you'll hear my thoughts on the post-show.
Well, indeed. ICW. Ooh. What's occurring?
Yes, literally 12 midnight following Clash of the Castle.
And it's not a small card either. It's not like midnight, we're going to do an hour and a half show. It's midnight. This is looking like a 3-hour show.
Yeah, it's a good show. Great
show.
Looking card. Let's get on to it.
Should we start at the top or start at the bottom?
Let's start at the bottom.
Nobody should put them at the bottom because they are amazing. The Greedy Souls are taking on LJ Cleary and Martin Steers. I've not seen Cleary and Steers tagging yet. I've heard so many good things about them as a tag team, but I haven't actually seen them tag yet. Greedy Souls, however, we know that they are one of the top tag teams in the UK. They are huge boys and they do like to hit hard. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, Ireland versus Wales. It's going to be a phenomenal matchup. Cleary and Steers obviously going to be a lot smaller than Jones and White, and big old battle. I believe the Welsh lads will come out on top in that match. I just can't see them not really. Greedy Souls for the win.
Greedy Souls for the win. Jack Jester versus TV's own Jackie Polo.
Yes, or yeah, Jackie Polo. It's Polo's been annoying the ICW old guard by taking on this Jackie Polo moniker and having it nothing to do with the original Jackie Polo for one. So Jack Jester's going to be out for, I believe they've been clashing a lot on ICW Fight Club. And amongst the Jester, Kez Evans feud, Jackie Polo was amongst that. So Polo.
Oh, we're sticking with the same people. I think Polo is going to win because of. Oh, no, actually, I'm going to go with Jack Jester. Polo gets disqualified for shenanigans.
Oh yeah, there's rules in ICW now, isn't there?
Occasionally.
Occasionally. Yeah, Jack Jester is an ICW legend. He is a hardcore beast. He's a good big man. And Jackie Polo, the former DKC, DCK. Yeah, great wrestler. But I'm going to go with Polo.
Yeah. Craig Anthony versus Leighton Buzzard. Craig Anthony is making his comeback. He is needing to look good and look strong and fight his way up to get his revenge on the evil Kez Evans. But Leighton Buzzard is standing in his way, the talented youngster with the beautiful blonde hair.
Square go holder.
Yeah. And brilliant wrestler.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both these guys. As you say, Craig Anthony made his return recently at ICW's Sugar's House Party 7 to great roar from the crowd. It's fantastic to see him back. He was one of the exceptional talents that started to really shine during that no fan era. His rivalry with Kez Evans for a big chunk of that was, he captured the zero G championship, only for it to have it stolen by Kez Evans. I'm a huge fan of him. Leighton Buzzard, square goal holder, as I mentioned, phenomenal young talent. But I'm going to go with Craig Anthony. I think he needs to continue to look strong as he heads towards his revenge match with Kez Evans and that championship title. And Leighton Buzzard, although Buzzard did just lose his last big feud as well to BT Gunn. But then again, you know, a comeback story could be there. Have Craig Anthony beat Kez Evans, then have Leighton Buzzard cash in the Square Go Championship on him exactly the same way Kez Evans did to him for the Zero G Championship. That would be good. So, yeah, I'm sticking with Craig.
I'm going to take a wild punt here. Match thrown out.
That's an interesting choice. No. We have different opinions, so technically it can count as a score, whatever happens. BT Gunn versus Andy Wilde. I know you're a huge fan of BT.
I am indeed. I'm also a huge fan of Dad Bod God. But yeah, BT Gunn, absolutely great. Brawler, technical wrestler,
high flyer.
Big man. He can do it all, and he will do it all against Andy Wilde. And I genuinely have got no idea. It's a coin toss for me. So whoever you choose, I'll have the other one.
I'm going to go for Andy Wilde. You know, I do like the Dad Bod God. I love his, when he gets in close, gets his big hooks around you and starts throwing you around with his array of suplexes before hitting the old daddy bomb. So I'm gonna go with the Dad Bod God on this one. Mr. Andy Wilde, come on boy, you know you can do it.
And I will stick with BT Gunn then. I'm happy with that. Moxie Malone versus Molly Spartan is next. Oh, another tough one to call.
For the ICW Women's Championship. You know, Molly Spartan has been dominant for a long time. Dominant throughout the No Fan era, dominant since becoming champion and taking the belt off Angel Hayes. She's looked good in all of those matches. Now, Moxie Malone has been rising through the ranks recently, following a very similar path with some big dominant wins. But I can't see her dethroning the Beautiful Bruiser.
No, neither can I, especially if the Beautiful Bruiser has a certain somebody in her corner.
Casey, yes.
Casey
is there.
Yeah. So, I think it is going to be. I think it is going to be Molly Spartan.
Yeah, Molly Spartan. So sticking with the same. Okay, Luke Cairo versus Daz Black for the ICW Zero G Championship. Two amazing young men who again have really shone in this amongst this no fan era of ICW. Part of this fresh young group of good looking talents, and Daz Black and Luke Cairo are suddenly amongst them. I think Black's just a step above him at the moment, and he's got the size advantage. It's going to be a high-flying and fast-paced matchup.
This has got the potential to be the matchup of the whole weekend from any card. Luke Cairo's fantastic. Daz Black is amazing. I think that Cairo needs the win to lift him to that next level. However, I don't think he's going to get it. My money's on Daz Black.
Yeah, I just don't think Cairo's ready for the Zero G Championship yet. I think Daz Black is the man to hold it steady until Theodorus comes and takes it off him.
And that is a match that I will enjoy watching. So yeah, both on Daz Black. Krieger and Liu King Sharp versus the Kings of the North in what is bound to be a big bloody battle of banging big men.
Yeah, for the ICW Tag Team Championships. I'm, big fan of the Kings of the North. They are big, bad boys, really. They're just absolute mean mugging men.
Yep.
I would not want to come across them in the dark alley, I put it that way. And I can't see them losing the tag team titles to Krieger or Liu King Sharp.
Well, this is then where we're going to disagree. Because I think this is going to be where we have a belt change hands on this card. I think it is going to be the tag belts to change, and I think Krieger and Liu King Sharp are going to win.
Yeah, fair play. Go for it. In the main event of the evening, it will be Grado challenging for the ICW Heavyweight Championship against Kez Evans. I've never been a big Grado fan.
That doesn't surprise me.
I've absolutely loved Kez Evans ever since I first started watching ICW. So I'm just going to go with all heart here and say Kez Evans.
Now, I love Grado. I do. I think he's great. But I love Kez Evans as well. And I think Kez has been fantastic as the man you really want to punch in the face. And I would never have the nerve to. He's terrifying. Grado, everyone wants Grado to win. Everyone wants him to win, which means everyone will hate Kez even more when Kez retains his championship.
Yeah, Kez Evans for me, because I mean, how can you not look to set up that Craig Anthony versus Kev Evans over the ICW Championship? So I know we talked about the fact that if anyone could kind of beat Kez Evans, Grado could be that kind of guy to do it, because it would really piss Kez off. But just due to the fact that Andy has returned now, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Kez Evans as well. Cool.
Right then. We shall now move on to a show that doesn't have a huge number of matches announced so far, but the ones it has had announced are rather good. Progress! Wrestling Golf Madrid, in that order. And would you like to explain to fans again where that name comes from?
It comes from Welsh footballer Gareth Bales, who was once quoted of when he was playing for Madrid to say that it's sort of like golf football Madrid. Whilst he was there, or some journalist said that that's what the order is, but basically they were saying he was more interested in playing golf in Madrid than he was in playing football in Madrid. So that's where that comes from.
There has been news last night ahead of our recording.
Yeah.
Some big news. The big man has lost his belt.
Yes, Mr. Big Damo lost the Progress World Championship despite only just winning it from Chris Ridgway. He was main eventing the last Progress show against Dan Maloney, and Spike Trevay would intervene, cause a disqualification, and the match to be thrown out. He would then continuously assault Big Damo with a chair before cashing in his key to the future, which he won during the Thunder Bastard, to then pin Big Damo and become the new Progress World Champion.
But
yes, earlier that evening, or earlier on the show that day, Mr. Eddie Dennis returned to Progress, defeated Maggot, and got on the mic and said that, last time I was here, I was undefeated as the Progress World Champion. So therefore, I want to challenge whoever is the world champion at the end of the show, which we assume would most likely be at Wrestling Golf Madrid. So it's likely going to be Eddie Dennis versus Spike Trevay for that Progress World title. And
Eddie Dennis is going to be the fan favourite as one of the best Welsh wrestlers wrestling in Wales against Spike Trevay, that conservative, Tory, slimy, nasty, horrible, horrible man that everybody
dare you insult him like that? He is Lord Spike Trevay, and he is one of the best wrestlers in the UK.
I won't take away his wrestling acumen. He is a fantastic wrestler. But as a human being, he is similar to something that I've scraped off the sole of my boot.
Don't hate on him just because he's richer than you. That's prejudice.
I'll hate on him for everything he's done before, and then getting rid of Cara Noir. I hope Eddie Dennis slams those size 13s straight up Spike Trevay's hat. I think that Eddie Dennis is going to win. I think this fact that, unfortunately for Progress, their title belt has bounced around a lot over the last couple of months. I think it's going to bounce one more time. I see Eddie Dennis back as champion.
I disagree.
That's fair enough. We are allowed to disagree. You're just wrong.
I think Spike Trevay is going to have a similar run as champion as one very violent wrestler who became champion very early on in Progress's history and really helped to establish Progress. And I think Spike Trevay is going to do the exact same thing, but more re-establishing Progress. And I always think I really like the way they did that person's run. He would always win the match, but would still always get his comeuppance by the end of the show. Usually if somebody else suddenly comes out, it's going to be the next challenger, or maybe the person he defeated got his wherewithal about him and hit him with a their finisher move. But I think he's going to have something similar to that. Eddie Dennis will lose, Spike Trevay, but Eddie Dennis will then get up and give him the seventh bridge or whatever and leave Spike out in the ring, but having lost. So I'm going to put my money on Spike Trevay.
Can't you imagine Eddie Dennis up on the shoulders of the Greedy Souls?
I could. And it would be, he never did lose the belt. I can honestly, I say it, but I'm going to go with Spike Trevay.
Fair enough. Another announced match is the Greedy Souls, aforementioned, versus Lycos Gym. Big boys versus some shitty little wolves. Yes.
I think the big Welsh bear is going to eat some shitty little wolves. Yeah. Luke Jacobs, Brendan White and Danny Jones have been fantastic as Greedy Souls. They've really launched themselves into a new height recently with RevPro UK, Progress, and ICW. Very few people do all three, and they're doing all three right now. They've had a bit of a shift into a face from their heel origins. They're being pushed kind of towards being faces now. So yeah, I'm going to go with Greedy Souls. They're the Welsh team, and the shitty little wolves are going to go down. Yep, I'm also going to go with the Greedy Souls. Next up, a technical masterclass is going to be held when Dean Allmark takes on Mike Bird. Yeah, Mike Bird is a Welsh wrestling veteran. He's been around the scene for a long, long time. He has made appearances for Progress, a few shows. Dean Allmark, of course, is the absolute star, style with a smile. He's phenomenal. He just really is. He's just that bloody good. His match with Takeshita recently in Newcastle, I just sublime watching it live. I'm going to go with Allmark.
I am also going to go with Allmark. Now, a match that hasn't been announced, but I reckon is probably going to happen. Luke Jacobs. Another big man has been announced for this show. And I think Luke Jacobs may well put up his Atlas title against this other big man. Ricky Shane Page has been announced, has he not?
He has been announced for Wrestling Gunfa Madrid in that order. And yeah, he was part of the Atlas tournament as well originally and did not face Luke Jacobs. So that could be a interesting match.
I'd be a match I'd be up for watching.
A match I would certainly be up for watching, and if it certainly could happen, I think it would be a great match. Now, Sunshine Machine obviously could defend their championships, possibly, maybe, and I would have them face the Dead Sad Boys, Billy Hayes and Jason Joshua.
That would be amazing.
Because Sunshine Machine, they've been on this trying to get, face as many different teams as possible and get to this mythic 9 tag team victories as tag team champions that they've been aiming for since becoming champions. And I could see them looking for a team out in Wales, and I think 3 amazing talents there. I think would be good to have them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we haven't yet had a women's match announced.
Nope.
So we should be interested to see who it's called for that.
Yeah, so Jodie Fret is a Canadian superstar. She's done some great work. She also did some very early work when Progress first established their women's division. So I could see Jodie Fret maybe challenging Kanji as the current women's champion. I'd like to see some sort of national progression qualifier match again. Some talents like Mulligan is somebody that I'm hearing a few times now from guys like Brendan White and a few others. Harrison Bennett was another name that he really wanted to establish, and Nico Angelo, who I know will be busy later in the evening, but not busy yet on the Progress show. I think these 3 guys could really do a natural progression series, maybe.
Yeah, no, that would be very, very good. I shall look forward to watching that when it comes around. But our final show that we're going to go over for this weekend, I think could be the show of all shows. I think the match is going to be as I previously said, the sort of standout match is going to be the Dad's Black versus Luke Cairo. But the show, I think, could well be TNT Extreme's Reign of Fire.
Yeah, it does look like an absolutely fantastic show. They've recently announced the main event for the TNT Extreme Heavyweight Championship, which does look like it'll be absolutely fantastic. The whole show kicks off originally with the VIP ticket holders. So you got Big Guns Joe versus one Simon Miller.
There's been a lot going on between these 2 guys. And it all stems back to Simon leaving Big Guns Joe out to get battered. I think Big Guns Joe is going to come out victorious.
There's been as you say, this has been a heated rivalry between Miller and Joe, but I'm going to go the other way. I think Miller and his new dark heel thing is going to have a bit of a run over on TNT Extreme.
We shall see. We shall see. We then have Kings of the North pulling their second match versus Adventures in Bolarama.
Yes, Bliss McPinn and LK Messinger. I don't hold much hope for them against the big boys from Northern. Island. You know, we just talked about them. Apparently, LK Messinger and Splits McBins. If you'd like to know more about them as a team, go check out our interview with Nico Angelo, because he helped us fill in the gaps a little bit, because we don't know too much about Splits McBins. But good tag team, unorthodox, but against the, as I say, those big badasses from Northern Ireland, I'm going to have to go with the Kings of the North.
I too am going with Kings of the North. I've seen Bolarama live. They are great fun. The crowd will love them, and they will get murdered. Slightly harder to call is the next match.
Yeah, you mentioned a match that probably could. I think this for me is the match that could easily steal the weekend, and that is one Mark Haskins versus Scotty Rourke. You know, Mark Haskins is a veteran of the scene. He's been one of the best wrestlers in the UK for forever, it seems like. And Scotty Rourke, he is literally on the rise right now. Massively athletic, has huge fan support, martial arts background, vicious kicks.
Which one of the two are you describing here?
Yeah, Scotty Rourke. And I'm gonna go with the young man on the rise. I'm gonna pick Scotty Rourke. I just as I say, he's a star on the rise right now. Of course, Mark Haskins does probably need to get himself back into the main event picture, so a win here would be good for him. But I'm going to go with Scotty Rourke. I'm going to go with the young guy going over.
I'm going to go with Mark Haskins. I'm going to go with Haskins with the experience, and I think he can then shake hands with the young Scotty Rourke and take him under his wing for a little while.
So could be good. Speaking, of course, of great wrestlers, you got the greatest professional wrestler to ever walk planet Earth, Tate Mayfair's Tateness is greatness, as he faces off against the big man, Jay Joshua. I mentioned him earlier as somebody I'd like to see face for the Tag Team Championship, but he will be busy as well on this show, making his TNT Extreme debut against Tate Mayfair, who is undefeated in TNT.
Tate is undefeated, but could his future match coming up with Effie, that he is focusing so heavily on, make him not pay the attention that he needs to the big man, Jay Joshua?
But he's going to be taking on Effie in Progress, not on TNT.
And we'll edit that bit out. Shit. Okay, bugger that then. Tate is greatness. Jay Joshua is a lovely human being, and Tate Mayfair's is a human being. And my heart says Jay Joshua, but my head says Tateness is greatness.
You know, because we are friends of Tate, so you know. So yeah, Tate Mayfair's because he's absolutely fantastic. Jay Joshua is a phenomenal talent, but I think Tate he's on the rise on TNT Extreme right now, and I think big win, gonna get the boos because Jay Joshua obviously Welsh, so I think getting those boos in as well will be brilliant. So Tate Mayfair's for the win.
Now a match that I'm really looking forward to. Session Moth Martina versus Mad Kurt.
Yes.
I think I described it previously as it's not going to be a technical classic. It could be, but it's not going to be. But it's going to be a lot of fun.
It really is going to be a lot of fun. Mad Kurt is so entertaining. And Session Moth is just so entertaining as well. And Mad Kurt is actually a phenomenal wrestler, and so is Session Moth Martina. And yeah, as you say, it's just going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to give the crowd something different, and I'm going to give the win to Session Moth for the win.
My money is also on Session Moth, and I hope this then leads to a return of Session Goth for a proper TNT Extreme match.
Poor Mad Kurt. Poor Mad Kurt.
Now, another match that has got potential to steal the show Visage versus Che Monet, with the winner facing Effie at GCW versus TNT. This is why I got confused. Doesn't take a lot to confuse me. Visage is in their swan song at the moment. They are they've called this their last year of wrestling, I believe. Both phenomenal wrestlers, both phenomenal character wrestlers. Really looking forward to this match.
Yeah, as you say, winner goes on to face Effie. Visage, I've loved Visage for a long time. They have vicious kicks. Shay is on the rise over in ICW. Shay is on the rise over in PCW. But as you mentioned, the whole swan song side of things, and with Visage, you know, really wanting to dream match and facing Effie, I have to think that Visage is probably going to get the win right now. I don't think it's quite Shay Monet's time quite yet. I think that's still to come.
I hate to do this twice in one video, but I'm going to go with match thrown out, and we have a three-way dance.
There we go. It certainly could go down that way with those two competitors. Nico Angelo versus Tom Farewell for the Ultra X Championship. Of course, we just had Nico on our show. He gave us his thoughts on the up and coming match against Mr. Farewell. Farewell is a phenomenal young talent, typically seen as the Prince of TNT Ignition, the younger brand, if you like, to TNT Extreme. Nico Angelo won Project X for this chance to challenge for the Ultra X Championship. I like Nico. I do. I know Farewell's literally just captured the Project X belt by capturing. He has just captured the Ultra X Championship after cashing in his power-up briefcase on Mark Haskins to capture that title. But again, I just feel like right now Nico could really become a big star in TNT Extreme, and he's slightly older than Tom Farewell, and I think he's ready to be on that level. Whereas Farewell, he's still got a little bit more. So I'm going to go with Nico. I'm going to go with Nico
because I really like Nico. I think he's great. Tom Farewell, really good wrestler, but I personally have been more attracted to Nico in his style and his interviews. I want Nico Angelo to win.
Simples. Possibly going to be the main event, which will be Brendan White facing Dan Maloney for the TNT Extreme Heavyweight Championship. So Brendan White on his third show of the weekend against Big Bad Dan Maloney, Driller Man. How do you see this one going?
It would be a hell of a shock if Brendan White won. It would be a massive upset if Brendan White won. And we love wrestling. And we love shocks. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to say, with my heart, let's go Brendan White.
Can you? I was going to pick Brendan White again as well. I don't know. I have a feeling about this one for Brendan White. Last show of the whole weekend, his third show of the entire weekend. Dan Maloney has held that TNT Extreme Championship for a few months now. It's had about 5 or 6 defenses with the title. But it's a difficult one to pick. It really is. But I think just to go against you, I'm going to pick Dan Maloney, and I think there is still room for him in that run of champion. He's had a great run as champion so far. There are a couple of matches that I would like to see him have as champion. One against Ashton Smith, the other one against Sam Gradwell at TNT Extreme at some point. I think those two against Dan Maloney in singles matches would be great. So yeah, go for it. I'm gonna say keep the belt on Maloney.
Fair enough. Now, Alexis Falcon has also been confirmed to take part. It hasn't been said yet who she will be facing, and also confirmed are the Royal Aces, Charlie Morgan and Jetta. But who will they be facing? Could it possibly be a challenge for the TNT Extreme Women's Tag Team Champions, the Liverbirds of Angel Hayes and Lizzie Evo, who are featured on the poster?
Yeah, I'm probably leaning towards that's going to be the match. They could throw in a couple of other teams, make it a fatal four-way with teams like the Uprising and the She-Wolves, who have been in amongst that sort of thing. But I'm also going to say that if it does happen, any way it happens, whatever way, I think the Royal Aces, Jetta and Charlie Morgan, will become the TNT Extreme Tag Team Champions.
Not yet, they won't. My money definitely on Angel Hayes and Lizzie Evo keeping those belts. They are fantastic. They are evil. They are nasty. They are wonderful. The Royal Aces are a great, great team. Brilliant technique, brilliant style. But the money's on the Liverbirds keeping hold of those belts.
Nah, I'm against you. Congratulations to the current TNT Extreme Tag Team Champions, La Rebellion, after they became double champions after recapturing the NWA Tag Team Championships from the Commonwealth Connections recently. So congratulations to La Rebellion on that. As you say, a little bit of a boo, because it would be good to possibly have them over here defending those TNT Extreme Championships. But it was not made to be. It was the Rebellion. But yeah, congratulations to them. Get back over here and start defending those TNT Extreme Tag Team belts, please. There we go. I think it's going to be a huge weekend for Wales wrestling overall. Nico, of course, when he was talked about, he said it's going to be a great opportunity. No doubt there are going to be some big names who are going to be watching and scouting all three of these independent shows in progress in TNT Extreme and in ICW. It's not that's not all as well, because you do have WrestleFest, Nick Aldis convention. Nick Aldis, Adrian Street's going to be there, so you know there's so much for you guys to do. Go enjoy wrestling in Wales. I think it's going to be a massive weekend. Anything left to say, Big Daddy Dan?
Good luck to all the companies that are putting on shows, including WWE. I'm not going to say not good luck to them. I don't think they need it. But yes, Wales, enjoy your weekend of amazing wrestling. Thank you very much. And Andy, how do we always leave it?
Well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, just remember, don't feed the trolls.